Hey everyone, welcome once again to Vicious Chats. I'm Tim Vicious. With me today, she is a Twitch streamer. She's done stuff on YouTube. She's a former pro wrestler and a video gamer. I think I may have just made up a new word there. Please give it up for the episode 11, Miss Colleen Masters. Kyle, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I'm surviving this heat. How about you guys?
It's actually cooler today, which makes a great change.
Oh,
I
you
actually
see,
had to wear a hoodie.
you're lucky.
Well, I'd say you'd be lucky because we don't have air conditioning over here in the UK. So,
Oh, what? You guys don't got ACs?
no, I mean, as technically you can get it, but it's extremely expensive. So we just have the best I can do personally is an electric fan.
Okay, now I get what you mean. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, like I said, we first wound up meeting up because it was, I don't know if it was you found me or I found you, but one of each other. We found each other off of Twitter, and
Yeah.
we were talking a bit with wrestling. So first and foremost, let me ask you, what was your big inspirations growing up when you were watching wrestling?
I actually I was a huge fan of Team Extreme back in the day. Uh, I kind of stumbled upon it, like I was bored flicking through channels. I actually saw WCW first, and I thought it was all right, and then I discovered WWE Heat on Sunday night terrestrial TV. I was meant to be asleep, but I had my own TV in my bedroom, so I kind of was browsing, and I remember seeing Lita. I can't remember who was also there, but then Team Extreme, and I just kind of just loved them from that day forward. All three of them.
I get that. I get that. So did you was it like after that you were just like you just became enthralled and then eventually once you got old enough you're like, nah, I'm doing a school. I'm going to school for it.
I actually collected magazines, like wrestling magazines, and I stumbled upon a article like advertising a wrestling camp. That's how I even, because before then I didn't even think it was possible, like over here, because I didn't know. I only knew about mainstream wrestling. I weren't familiar with indie wrestling or anything like that. So
Okay.
it was literally I just stumbled upon it, and then I was like, I was I was bullied a lot as a kid, so I thought, A, I can see what this is like, and B, it might help me in my self confidence. And I only really went ahead with it because my mum, who was my biggest inspiration overall, hated wrestling with a passion, but she succeeded in her dream of becoming an author, and her whole family never supported her from day one, and then only to suddenly support her once her first book got published. And she didn't want that for me. She wanted me to know that she had support, that I had support from day one. So on her deathbed, she made my dad promise her that he would support me no matter what, and I just did not want to let her down. So I went through with it, and even though my dad, was kind of hoping that I would go to the camp and hate it, I fell in love. From that day forward, I was like, this is what I want to do in my life. So never look back until the health issues kicked in anyway.
Yeah, I get that. I did backyard stuff from the time I was 12 until I was like 27, and that was like the most natural thing I ever did in my life. And I tell my son all the time, like, no, listen, bud, if you wrestling just came naturally to me. Like you love basketball, that's comes natural to you, which is saying
Yeah.
something because he's athletically gifted for it, but I can't dribble for my life. I can't play basketball if my life depended on it.
I actually loved basketball as a kid. I preferred that over netball because
Uh,
at least you can run with the ball. I mean, you have to dribble, yes, but with netball you have to stand still when everyone charges at you. It's kind of frightening.
it's almost like the dodgeball classes, like
Yeah.
that. bring back some old PTSD memories from anyone that's ever had to endure dodgeball in gym.
Yeah, funny enough, I never did dodgeball in school, but I did do dodgeball in my old wrestling gym as part of a training
Ooh.
exercise.
Yeah,
So that was
like with the movie. If you could dodge a wrench, you could dodge a ball.
yeah. Yeah.
So you did bring it up. You had some health issues, and that's what made you step away. Do you ever look back and think, maybe if I talk to a doc, I can get this worked on, or maybe if I use my left side, maybe I can go back in?
It was actually the doctors that refused to clear me because they're too afraid that I'll get punched or kicked in the stomach. I tried to
Ooh.
explain to them how wrestling works, but it's been 12 years now. Even if I was given the opportunity to go back, I would have to start from scratch, and I don't think my heart could take that. But
I get that.
But it is what it is, and I enjoyed the 8 years that I was active in the ring, and I do look back at them fondly. I'm just kicking myself that I ignored my health issues. I was feeling pain and on and off, like the few months leading into the emergency operation, and I do have those what if I caught it earlier and all that stuff, especially when I had my operation. It was 1 week before I was meant to have my very first official championship match that I was going to win. That's what annoys me more than anything, that I missed out on the opportunity because I ignored my pain like an idiot.
Yeah, I get that. That sucks. So it's wanted to ask you also, like, I've been thinking, like, whatever happened to Jezebeth? Because I know you two used to have like a really good heated Twitter fight. You two would have Twitter fights where it would be like, oh man, this stuff is better than like what's on TV.
Yeah, she's I think she's sort of gone back to training. Her real self, the nicer version, has been popping into my Twitch chats lately, and my entire viewers, like all of them, are like Team Jezebeth and calling me the heel, despite me actually being the face and her the heel. There's actually one of my mods actually made a command as exclamation mark heel, and it plays one of my clips, like Twitch clips, and I got misquoted when I said I was a heel for like 6 matches, and then after that I said but I'm mainly a face. It gets conveniently cut off before I say that, and it gets played each time. So now, according to them, Jezebeth is the best face and their favorite wrestler, and I'm just like, you bunch of trolls. so she's still around and still intentionally, unintentionally causing like a little rivalry going on between me and her, because with everyone being team.
Got to settle this the old-fashioned way. Just have you two sit there and play and do like a 10 live 10 stock Smash Brothers fight. No weapons, just nothing but your fists and smash attacks.
I mean, she's visiting soon, and she wants to watch me stream live. So maybe I can convince her to do like a co-op stream, and
there you go.
Yeah, just put on some Tekken, or because I don't have Smash Bros. I put on some Tekken or even WWE 2K24 and just kick her ass.
Well, there you go. And you could save some time. Go a step ahead, create yourself, max out your stats, and then create her, and then you could just drop her stats all the way down to the bottom. That way, it's just feel like little flick of the finger, and she's down.
Yeah.
That way you can call, and it's the Jezebeth screw job.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Hopefully, she doesn't watch this.
Well, yeah, okay. Can we edit that part, please? Got to talk to the producers on that. That's so yeah, you do the Twitch stuff, so I do a ton of games myself. That's always been that's always been like an outlet for me to just stress and to like veg out, to decompress. Like what kind of games you mostly going on?
I I do a variety mainly. I don't do first person because I get motion sickness. Although ironically, I can handle Outlast. Don't know why that game doesn't make me feel ill, but yeah, mostly first person games I avoid. I do a variety of different things. I got quite known for doing a lot of FMV games for a while before I was like, you know what, I need to break away from this stuff and show that I generally do a variety. And ironically, saying that, bringing back FMVs this Sunday. But
Oh, there you
anyway,
go.
but yeah, I mainly play on PlayStation, and I kind of got the platinum trophy hunting bug.
You're as bad as my brother. He's a
Oh,
he's a
yeah,
trophy hunter. I'll go and I'll look for Easter eggs and like the little tidbits on stuff, but I'm mostly like, no, I want to max out on all the side quests and then I'm gonna do the
yeah,
main story.
fair enough. I avoid games that says complete on the hardest difficulty because I don't think my health can take that stress level. I would end up back in hospital if I had to do like uh, one of my favorite franchises, Yakuza. If I had to complete that on the hardest difficulty, I would literally wind up back in hospital from all the stress. I cannot do that. But
I'll warn you now. I don't know if you've done Helldivers 2, but stay away from it if that's the case.
oh no, I have not done that. But I tried Elden Ring and rage quit after the
Ooh.
second boss. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I play Helldivers 2, and I got my one nephew hooked on it, and how I best described it to him, it's an online MMO shooter. It's third person,
okay,
but you choose between doing one of two objectives. You go on one side of the galaxy and you're fighting bugs like in Starship Troopers, or you go on the other and
yeah,
you're fighting robots like you're a clone trooper in Star Wars.
okay,
Yeah,
fair enough.
and and he was like, okay, I'm sold. And playing it on, I tried doing it on hard, and I got wasted like a minute and a half in. I'm just like, yeah, I can't do this. I'm going to stick with normal. I can't even imagine doing hell, going on playing on hell.
Um, I when I'm not streaming, I do tend to play games on easy because I just like to have a chill time, you know, not focus. But when I do stream, they are always on normal mode. Although I tried a bit of Baldur's Gate 3 off stream on normal mode. I was like, nah. So when I do stream that, because that is one of my plans, I'm gonna sneakily put that on easy because I want to just enjoy the game, you know.
Yeah,
And it
I
is a
get
great
you on
game.
that. Oh yeah, I get you on that, and I'll eventually get Baldur's Gate myself, you know. But I'm going back and digging into my archives. I just
Yeah.
re-downloaded Rayman
Okay.
Origins. I'm a
Fair enough. Yeah.
platform. I'm a platform and action adventure guy. It's not
Okay.
often I do many shooters, but I go out of my way for like the for like the Dooms and some shooters.
So with platformers, have you heard of the Messenger? Because one of my friends, who's also one of my mods, has been talking about it for the past year, and I'm finally streaming that currently. And platformers and me don't really mesh well, but I've actually sticking at it, and he's actually quite impressed with how far I've gotten so far.
I've heard of
Because
it.
he thought I would rage quit by now. It's basically it's been compared to Ninja Gaiden. So
Really?
yeah.
Huh.
So
So,
uh,
oh, okay. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I've not played that game, like Ninja Gaiden, so I can't really uh, describe it more than that. But that's pretty much what it is. It's a side-scrolling platformer compared to Ninja Gaiden, and uh, let's just say there was one boss fight that I could not beat on stream. So and I just did not want to admit defeat. So I thought, you know what, off stream, I'm gonna try this boss out, see if I can figure out a pattern. Next thing I know, it's 5 a.m. and I finally beat the boss, and I was just like, oh crap, where did time
All
go?
right. I get that. I get that. What was it? I was like maybe 18. I had a GameCube. My parents got me Metroid Prime as a surprise birthday gift.
Yeah,
And it's like it's like 7 at night, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll just do like an hour or two, and then I'm gonna head to bed. Next thing you know, my mom's coming down, getting ready for work. Like, Tim, have you been up this whole time playing games? Like, wait, whoa, okay, a lot longer than I thought.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
you were doing I know you were saying you were doing Suicide Squad the other day.
Oh
I
God.
just
Yeah.
finished. Yeah, I just finished that myself. How did it handle for you? Because I had the only glitch I had this one glitch. It was driving me up a wall. I kept getting joystick drift. Did you?
Okay. Well, no. I mean, there was one interesting bug where the because it was me and a friend. I was collaborating on his stream. Uh, the two AI characters in the group, they were just invisible to me. So all I saw was these floating guns. That was weird. But no, we both kind of just gave up on the game because the writing was just so bad. I felt like I was losing brain cells watching the cutscenes and stuff, and he was just not feeling the game himself. So uh, as soon
Fair
as he
enough.
as soon as he said he wasn't going to stream it anymore, I was like, right, delete. Oh, Baldur's Gate 3. All right, I'll just reinstall that instead. So
Fair enough, because I kept getting joystick drift, easy for me to say, where my character, no matter, like, there would be random times in the middle of a firefight, my guy will just start running everywhere, and I'm like, and the only way I'd fix it is if I shut down the game or if I played through it until it shuts down on its own. And it was just like, you wanted to smack, you would get to where you're that rage where you want to throw the controller through the TV.
yeah, well, props to you for continuing with that game. I seriously, I just couldn't handle it. But that could be the fact that I'm the daughter of an author, and I look for good writing in anything I play or watch. And if I feel like I'm just watching something dumb, I just can't really click with it, even if the gameplay is okay. Which I will admit, the gameplay itself was okay, repetitive but okay.
Yeah, the game was there was some repetitive stuff, but I'm also weird that where I like that disgruntled they can't really get along kind of dynamic dialogue with in that kind of stories. And not only that, I had the mindset of I paid for the game, even if it sucks, I'm not going to give up on it just like an hour in. I got to at least try and stomach through.
Fair enough.
So I got all the way to the end, and then they said, okay, now you got to go across the multiverse to go and kill Brainiac. And so now this is where I get string it out. And yeah, click, I'm done now. Oh, hey, Red Dead Revolver 2 is a free download. Let me grab that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of backlog of games. I mean, I bought Stellar Blade recently, and I've not even got around to playing that yet. But
Yeah,
it's just, it looks amazing, and I've been kicking myself thinking I should have played that first rather than stupid Suicide Squad. But
I get that. I'm like that too, because if honest to God, if you saw my back catalog for stuff that I downloaded that were free downloads off PS Plus, your jaw would hit the floor and be like, when do you plan on playing any of these? I'm like, well, I'm just wanted to get it for in case.
see, I use a picker wheel to choose what games I'm going to stream, to choose what games I'm going to play off stream. It helps get past the backlog. It really does. But I have that problem where uh, even though I want to do this backlog and get through it, I then go sort of like divert back to games I've already played. Like this Baldur's Gate 3, I've done 2 playthroughs already.
Yeah.
And then I re-downloaded it for another playthrough off stream, and then I'm gonna do like a Dark Urge playthrough on stream. Sort of like I had this in my head, like this idea in my head. I've been saying that I'm a face, not a heel, but Dark Urge is like you have to try and be like a hero while having these dark impulses that can come out of nowhere. So I thought it would be kind of like a fun idea where it's like a conflicting, is she good or is she bad kind of thing. And I thought it would kind of mix with the current meme that's going on about me in my own chat.
Almost kind of like Fable, where you choose between being good or evil.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, and you see, the kids, if you know what I'm talking about with the Fable games, congratulations, you have been well trained. You've been raised properly. Not many people know the kind of concept about with them games nowadays. I tried explaining that to my son, and he was just like, "What?" Yeah,
Paragon and Renegade.
yeah, and you should have seen my brother's two oldest kids. I tried explaining to them, me and my brother. We tried explaining to them because we're kids we grew up in the '90s during the Sega and Nintendo console war. And it was like, no, dude, it's not like on how it is now. Like, there's a PlayStation down here, but there's a Nintendo upstairs. No, it was either you were one or the other, and you guys would we would go to war with each other. My brother was all Sega, and I was all Nintendo.
I had both. My first console was the NES. I started playing when I was 5, and then I had the Sega Mega Drive before PlayStation and all that. But yeah, 80s kid personally. Growing up in the 90s with those consoles from 5 years old, never looked back, just loving those video games.
Oh yeah, same. Especially when what's it? I got it right here. I still mess with my brother about it because I still have my Game Boy. I have a Game Boy Color from when I was in 8th grade. And it's still it's Pokemon Red. And for those that are watching the video, yes, it still works.
I still got mine. It's actually a Game Boy Color with a Pikachu on it.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I tried explaining, and that's the other thing, because I tried teaching my son, like, no, listen, dude, it's not like on how it is now. You have a phone in your pocket and you can pull out a game anytime. No, I had to go out of my way to make sure I carried not just a game, not just my Game Boy, but a backup set of batteries for in case they go out, plus a backup game in case I got bored.
Yeah, it's I mean, I do love the physical games. I mean, when we were briefly talking about Sega, that reminded me. This is currently one of the games I'm streaming.
Oh, sweet, the Sonic Origins.
Yep. And I have a love-hate relationship with Sonic the Hedgehog because, like I said, platformers and me, not great mix. But
I get that. I got a love-hate one with Sonic also. Love the gameplay. I think it's fun, but the problem is it just goes too fast, and I don't get to. It feels like I don't get to appreciate it. Everything going on.
I think out of all the Sonic games, I've only ever completed 2 so far, which is Sonic 2 and Generations. And with Generations, oh my god, that last boss battle really was a pain in my backside. And the worst part is I completed it on my brother's profile, not mine.
Ooh.
So he's taking the credit.
Oh.
And he's not even a gamer. I created that account for him because he only plays Sonic or Mario.
All right, so let me ask you, what was the toughest boss battle you ever think you did?
Besides that robotic battle, I got a bad hand to begin with, and that battle did not do my hand any better. In fact, I felt like the claw from like in the Friends episode when the hands got stuck. That was what my hand was like. But that I'd say that would legit be my hardest boss battle. But then I say recently, I guessed Elden Ring, that second boss battle, because it took me 3 streams to beat him, and then I died instantly afterwards, and then it reset me to the beginning of the boss fight, and I just deleted the game. I was like, nope, not doing that again.
Yeah, I would have snapped. I would have had neighbors I would have had people like 5 blocks away asking what was that noise, because you would not. I'm pretty sure you would have heard me yelling, "What the hell?" And that's putting it mild on what I'd say. I would have been
Yeah,
screaming and cursing up a storm if that was the case, if that happened. I got to think mine was probably Sephiroth in Final Fantasy VII,
oh,
or
yes.
uh, trying to think. I had it fresh in my head too. Uh, I it'll come to me, and then I'll wind up. It'll come to me right as I'm about to sleep, and I'll just be like, ah. So don't be surprised if you get a random text message at some point between when we're done and the next day. Be like, oh, that was the guy.
Fair
But
enough. Yeah,
Sephiroth was definitely. Did you ever play the GameCube game called Eternal Darkness?
I never had the GameCube, so no, but
Okay.
I have heard of it.
Yeah,
I
that
have heard.
was. I played that game. I had the GameCube. I was 18. I had that. That game, it had a sanity meter where if it went down, it would put all kinds it would have weird stuff happen in the middle of the game to where you would think the game was broke or something. Like in the middle of it, I'm in the middle of playing, and next thing you know, it just blacks out, and all you see is a text message come across the screen saying, error, all saved files have been deleted. And I jumped out of my seat like you'd have thought I just saw like the worst horrible news of my life. I'm screaming and yelling up a storm, and then it goes back to normal. I'm like, what? What? I I I think that was the very first time I ever felt heart palpitations.
Yeah, I've had them. They're not great, but yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking actually recently when I uh was playing Sonic Origins, and I was just stuck on this ridiculous bit, which was it would have been I mean it's easy looking back at it, but I was just getting frustrated and a little bit hungry. So focus levels, and then I shouted out, "You wank stain piece of shit game!" And then literally 3 redeems in a row of no cussing for 20 minutes. So a whole hour I was just like. So
Yeah,
yeah,
my son tried doing that with me because I got a mouth that, I can make a drunk sailor blush. So, and he tried doing the whole, Dad, I'm gonna make a swear jar for you. And I just looked, I was like, how much am I supposed to put in every time I curse? He was like, a quarter. I'm like, all right, you know what? Here's a 50. That's gonna cover me for the whole day. And he just looked, he
fair
was
enough.
like, what? Yeah, because that I'm that bad. I mean, I can cover and censor myself when I have to, but
Yeah.
if I'm told, hey, let it fly, yeah, it's almost like a very yeah, no other way to really describe it. I make a drunk sailor blush. I will throw out motherfucker with like good morning.
I would never swear but in the wrestling, I wouldn't swear in the ring or anything like that, and I won't swear in front of my dad because I know he hates that. So I kind of so because I'm sort of being professional, and also in my volunteer job, I volunteer at a charity shop. I don't swear there because I'm trying to be professional. So I gotta
Well,
swear
yeah,
swear sometime. I mean, I gotta I'm sort of holding it all in during these situations that I gotta let it out at some point.
yeah. So you're just like, all right, we'll be right back. Hit the pause button on the camera, and then just scream out the F word as many times as you can in like 30 seconds.
Yeah, but I mean, literally, when I first started my YouTube channel before doing Twitch and all that, I did genuinely try to not swear, and then the rage got to me, and then I was just like, you know what, I don't care anymore. It, I gave up censoring. So yeah, I'm just I'll just be me on my stream, and then my chat trolls me. Yeah, that's how things go.
I get that. I censor myself around little kids and when I'm at work
Yeah,
because, you got to be halfway. You got to be decent around the kids, and work is
yeah,
where you're professional. You got to be professional, you know.
yeah, absolutely.
So it's other than that, if I like, okay, here's a funny story. Not maybe it's not so funny, depending on how you take it. I was working at a gas station. They also had a spot where you can make where the employees would make sandwiches. And we had the meat slicer. We would use it to slice up the vegetables so that way everything would be the same size. So
Yeah,
nobody would complain the tomatoes too big, the onions are too thin, this, that, and the other kind of stuff. I'm working the meat slicer to slice it, and next thing you know, boom, I lose part of my thumb from
Oof.
knuckle to tip, and it just felt like a paper cut at first. I thought maybe I just nicked it. I don't look at it at first, and then I go to run it under the water to see, and I look and I see on how bad it is. I turn to my boss, Adam, get a towel and wrap it tight. I need it. Why? Why? Otherwise, these kids in here are going to hear a whole lot of new set of words. He grabbed it, let me bite it down, and then he drove me to the hospital to go get looked at. And he said, listen, man, if you need to scream, curse, do whatever, get it out your system now before you walk in there. And with it, I never said the F word more times in my life than I did in those first 30 seconds. Within those 30 seconds of just like, your mother. Oh, yeah. It was just like beep, 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 beep. And afterwards, he just looked, you good? Yeah, I'm good now. Thanks.
Yeah, that sounds painful. I mean, luckily I've never had.
It felt like a paper cut at first. It only really it only really hurt when like I went to go clean it because I thought it was just a nick. And then when the docs, there was nothing. I looked at them like, so what's the prognosis? Am I getting stitches or anything? Like, there's nothing to stitch. You took flesh clean off. I got to put an artificial scab on top to stop the bleeding. So when they had to go and poke that, they were poking fresh, raw, open skin, everything in there. So those were the two most painful parts when I had to rinse it and they were putting a scab on. Other than that, it was just like, God, this hurts.
The only thing, I mean, again, it doesn't even come close really, but the only thing that comes to mind I actually didn't swear. I think I was too tired to swear, to be honest. It was at a I think it was like a week-long training camp. It was actually where I first met Wade Barrett. Back then, I knew him as the Pinnacle Stu Sanders, and someone, I don't know who it was, but someone got caught smoking a roll up, and the owner of the place thought it was weed or something. So he punished all of us by making us go to the beach at like extremely early in the morning, and we had no sleep because we went drinking the night before. I was 17 at the time, so yes, underage drinking because it's legal at the age of 18 over here, so not bad. I was only 1 year younger than that, but anyways, we was doing wheelbarrow, like a wheelbarrow thing, and I slipped and I cut my arm from here all the way down to here on this like rock, because the person that was wheelbarrowing me continued, and it just sliced my arm. So that hurt a lot.
Oh, yeah. It's saying, I explain that to my son, like, dude, no, trust me, you're gonna get hurt, you're gonna take injuries, you're gonna get scars. Just make sure that when you get those scars, you got a good story to back them up. Because trust me, you don't want to have one like, yeah, you see that one, that's a burn scar. Where'd you get that from? Making noodles.
I've got a burn scar as well.
Yeah, what's it? The stupidest one I think I got, it's on my arm. It's, I don't know. I'm trying to find it. I think it may have got covered up by my tattoo. No, it's right there. You can barely see it, but it's a burn scar. I was like 23, 24.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy, we were out drinking. This is back when I used to drink. And we were playing a game called Bitch Out. I don't know if you ever heard of it. It's an extremely stupid drinking game. It involves whoever smokes. One of yous, they light up a smoke, they take a few drags, and then you put your arms side by side, and then you drop the cigarette in between, and you see which one backs away first.
Okay, yeah, never done that.
Yeah, we were that stupid. I was that kind of stupid, that kind of a stupid drinker. I'm glad I don't anymore. I
was going to say, with embarrassing scars, I mean, I don't think this is as embarrassing, actually. The burn scar, I mentioned when I also got a burn scar. I remember I think I was about it was around about 18. My dad was cooking a roast, and I I'm not the most patient of people, so I thought I'd quickly sneakily get a roast potato without my dad looking, and he did not know I was behind him, so he backed into me, and my arm pushed against the oven tray that was fresh out the oven, and bend my arm that way. So yeah, that's kind of embarrassing. Like, easily avoided, but if I wasn't too greedy.
Yeah.
But
Hey, we all got those ones, you know. I mean, but I got one right here on my head because I shaved my head and I took the blade a little too close, and I got that one little spot where no hair will ever grow because that's all scar tissue. So
fair
I'm
enough.
bald by choice, folks. Bald by choice.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I when it comes to scars, I've been very lucky. I mean, obviously, I got the massive one on my midsection from the operation. Uh, when I was, because my mum also had the same illness as me, Crohn's disease, and it was actually a mixture. It's like 95% Crohn's and 5% colitis. So I can't just have one. I have to have both. I'm greedy like that. Like I said, I'm just a greedy person. What can I say? But but yeah, my stepmom was there actually at the hospital. She was the one that told the doctors about my mum's medical history because I was just in too much pain. I couldn't even speak. Um, so yeah, I've got a massive scar on my midsection now. They avoided the belly button when they cut me open and removed 3/4 of my large intestine,
Oh
and then
my
tied,
goodness.
and tied the remainder onto the small intestine. And I'm very lucky I don't need one of those bags. I can't remember what they're called, but you know, the bags.
Colostomy bags.
Yeah, I'm very lucky I don't need one of them yet, anyway. But yeah, uh, basically when I went to the doctor, when I finally went to the doctor, before this is before the hospital. There was actually the doctor is the reason why I ended up in the hospital because he misdiagnosed me, saying that I had appendicitis and told me to take ibuprofen, which is actually deadly for anyone with Crohn's or colitis. So I took one pill, and the pain got so bad I can hardly move. And what happened was the inflammation got so bad it pierced my stomach muscle. So
Jeez,
I'm lucky. I'm
Louise.
lucky to be alive, basically.
You know, it's hey, more power to you on that. But my mom's a nurse, so I kind of got secondhand knowledge in some medical stuff, and I'm just trying to think like they you had appendicitis and they told you to take ibuprofen. That's the part
Yeah.
that I'm like, what? Like,
Yeah.
wouldn't they have tried to like look to make sure that like to make sure it's is it bad enough to where they need to take it out, or like to say, hey, just do this or take it easy for a week or two or something? Like
And
that's the part
what can
I'm
I
trying to
say?
grasp.
What can I say? That doctor was, well, in the lack of a better term, shit. I have
Yeah,
not seen
no,
that
no,
doctor
no. By
since.
all means, if that's a shitty doc right then and there, because yeah,
Yeah. So, but yeah, luckily for me, when I went to the hospital, I had the best surgeon. In fact, the head surgeon, he was like the best. And so I went from a shitty doctor that caused me to end up in the hospital in the first place to an amazing doctor that literally saved my life. So I got both ends of the scale there.
well, I'm glad that you made. You know, all things considered, I'm glad you made it through, and you're doing good. You're in good health. You know, you're kicking
Yeah.
ass, enjoying yourself with your games. You know,
Well, good health,
excuse me.
I wouldn't quite say. I mean, I'm actually in pain right now, but I have the mentality of just, uh, just carrying on. Because if you don't, you just sit and cry, and that's no way to live. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
That's you know, I say this to everyone that's ever on, you know, thank you for taking the time to come out and be on here. You know, you could have been doing a
yeah.
million different things. You chose to be here. I really do appreciate that. Um, you got any socials, your Twitch, YouTube's,
Oh yeah,
anything you want to plug, by all means, the floor is yours.
yeah. I rarely go on YouTube these days, so I'm mainly on Twitch. It's basically uh twitch.tv/Colleen Masters, one word, no spaces, pretty much how it's spelt on the screen, but like I said, with no space. Um, but yeah, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday, around about 8 p.m., 8:30 p.m. UK time. Uh, I'm not great with differentiating time zones. I have to Google that up. With,
Trust me, I
but
get
yeah.
that. I had to do the math myself to make sure we got our times right.
Plus, with the summertime, like the when the clocks go forward or back or whatever, I noticed because I uh, have this like American Twitch streamer friend who massive wrestling fan as well. He created me in his own version of like WWE 2K24, like the universe mode. He created me on it. Uh, in 2023, he made me look like a man. I mean, he was a female character, but he looked very manly. I was like, hang on a minute, this version, this new one, a bit more feminine. I was like, thank you for that. But yeah, I got confused at one point because like 1 minute he's like 9 hours ahead, not ahead, behind, and next minute he's like 8 hours behind. But the times and I was like, and then I realized clocks went either back or forward for him before it did for me. So
Yeah,
that's why
you
I get
guys,
confused.
yeah, the clocks change for you guys like a few weeks before they do over here in the
Yeah.
US.
So yeah, it gets confusing. So yeah, it's just easier just to Google.
Yeah,
Really is.
yeah, so it's again, yeah, so you got your Twitch. I know you said you don't do much on YouTube. Any other socials that you want to put out there?
Uh, uh, just I'm sort of on Twitter or X as it's called now. Again, same. I'm not very original when it comes to my different social tags. Same thing. Colleen Masters, one word. In fact, the only thing that's different is my PSN account, which I call Wrestler Gamer. Again, one word. But
Oh, if you ever want to look me up, I'm Tim Vicious 23.
okay. In fact, I have it on in the background. I could send a
Oh,
friend request now.
oh, there you
What did
go.
I think about it? But yeah, uh, yeah. Any other quick stories you want to mention before we wrap things up?
Um,
It,
if there's anything that you want to talk about, because I was gonna ask you about on how you're holding up, how your health is, and all, but you did kind of just bring that up when you were talking about with that.
yeah. Well. See, my brother says I can talk for England once I start. I mean, I can change the subject halfway through a conversation without even intending to
It's
or realizing.
it's what I grew up around. So trust me, I didn't lose a step with me. You saw I was carrying with you the whole way from start to finish.
But yeah, I mean, let's just. What I would say with the whole health thing, I I'm glad for the NHS because with my health issues, and I mean I don't understand how like the costs, like medical costs in America. I don't understand that because honestly, uh if I lived over there, I'd be skin or dead by now because I wouldn't be able to afford all the treatment. That's how often I've been in and out the hospital over here in the UK. I might as well move in. That's how often in the last 12 years I've been in and out so often. I've even made jokes to the doctor saying, do you have a private room? I might as well just get my pillow and duvet and just stay here because I'm on a first name basis with them. They don't even bother with my surname. I'm there that often.
I get that.
So,
My son, for what was it? From the time he was like 8 months until he was 5 years old, it was like you could almost set your clock to when he had to go to the same day surgery center for some kind of problem, whether it was getting tubes put in his ears or taken out or some other kind of
yeah.
medical problem. And it got to the point they were like, weren't you guys here? You look familiar. We came here this time last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really embarrassing for me. I went for an iron infusion recently. One of the many fantastic things with Crohn's is that it causes anemia as well, so that's great. And I went. This is my second one in the last few months, and I didn't even realize at the time, but I was wearing the exact same outfit I did from the last visit. And the nurse recognized, and she was like, "Didn't you wear that last time?" I was like, "I don't know." So yeah, it is what it is. At the end of the day, I just deal with it. Really, it's a lifelong condition. I can't change anything about it. Just it's a same shit, different day, basically.
Yeah. Well, if you ever need if we're ever able to help here in any kind of way with it for you on anything, don't hesitate to give a holler. I'll do anything can on my end.
I mean, I appreciate it, but like I said, it's fine. I mean, if my mum did have it worse than me, I'm very lucky in comparison because um, she was 6 stone and she was on these different meds that cause brittle bones, and she is like the strongest woman I've ever known. So if she can survive, and she had one of those bags as well, and if she could power through as long as she did, then I have no right to bitch about my situation. Even though I do wonder, especially on my bad days, I wonder how the hell she survived. She managed to cope as long as she did, because I just it makes me admire her even more, basically. Because honestly, on my bad days, I just don't want to get out of bed. It can get that bad, but like I said, I'm in pain right now, but I'm just smiling and chatting away because I'm trying to ignore it. So me bringing it up doesn't really help matters, but
I get that. All right, so I'll let you get, you go do what you gotta. All right, folks,
yeah.
thanks for taking the time to listen. Make sure you check Kyle out on Twitch. And thanks for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me. Bye.